When it comes to gear purchases, it's always a little bit of a gamble on if that product will actually deliver on performance, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes it's a completely horrible product that makes you regret the purchase entirely, and that's actually something that I just recently went over in a recent video, going over 5 off-camera flash gear purchases that I completely regret. This video is going to be the complete opposite of that. This is going to be 5 off-camera flash gear purchases that I wish I bought sooner. If you have any sort of off-camera flash gear purchases that you wish you made sooner, let me know what those are in the comment section below while I talk about today's sponsor, which is Adorama. Adorama is an industry-leading retailer that has been serving photography, videography, and audio customers for almost 50 years now. Their motto is everyone is a creator, including yourself, and they do their best to unleash that creator within us all by providing us with the tools and expertise necessary to get the job done. I personally shop at Adorama for both the great deals on products I use and recommend, but also the great customer service on those products as well. If you find yourself interested in any product I talk about in today's video, check out the links that will be in the description area below and be sure to use those links if you decide to order. This little guy right here called a light spigot, which costs only $5 on Amazon, is the first item on my list of off-camera flash gear purchases that I wish I made sooner because it's extremely helpful in that it allows me to attach my Sirui monopod, this portable Sirui monopod, to my lighting equipment. You guys can see that there's another light spigot right here on the top of this monopod. Whenever I travel, I want to be very portable at my photo shoots, and if possible, have somebody hold my lighting equipment, because you can't actually use, I think, light stands at New York because I think it's against the law. So having the ability to have somebody hold this monopod and have the lighting equipment being able to attach to the monopod is very helpful. One end of the spigot is 1/4 and the other is 3/8, so you have those two different options available to you on this light spigot. One great benefit of this light spigot is if you're new to off-camera flash photography specifically, you've been doing photography for a while and you already have a tripod, well, getting this light spigot will allow you to kind of not have to buy immediately a light stand and instead use that money for other things like speed lights, transmitters, or softboxes. I would definitely recommend against using any sort of heavy light setups like strobes on that tripod that you're using as a light stand for the moment. Instead, use light setups or smaller light setups like a speed light and a small softbox. This Glow S2 bracket that allows you to attach speed lights and other round headlights to bonus mount modifiers is the second item on my list because this guy right here is a huge improvement over the previous model of this bracket that I did use for quite a while before this bracket came out. With the previous version of this bracket, whenever you adjusted the angle of the bracket right here using the handle, it did make quite a bit of noise at certain different levels. So it would go, it would basically just make a noise, but this one is completely silent. And also this one again can be used with round headlights. So it does have a little piece here on the bracket that allows you to attach it to speed lights. So when you leave that little piece in, but when you take it out, you can then use any sort of round headlights like this LED light that I have with Godox. It's an RGB LED light, so if I just needed a little pinch of light in a softbox at night or any sort of low environment, then I can actually use this LED here, or I could just use any sort of round head lighting that I have like this Godox 8100. Or if you don't want to spend $150 on a bracket that Profoto offers just to connect those Profoto modifiers out there to the smaller Profoto lights, you can instead invest in this Glow S2 bracket, which is only $20 to $25, and be able to connect the very popular bonus mount modifiers like the Glow modifiers by Adorama or the Cheetah Stand modifiers and save a load of money going that route. This little 6-stop sensor ND filter for Sony a7R III cameras by STC Optics is easily the third item on my list, and you might be thinking to yourself right now, how does an ND filter relate to off-camera flash? And the simple answer is that instead of using a fast shutter speed with high-speed sync in order to get a proper exposure using a wide aperture in bright sun, I can instead use an ND filter to get the same look. And if you're now thinking to yourself, well, why would I use an ND filter for that same look when I can just use high-speed sync? And high-speed sync is very convenient and a lot of lights have that feature. Well, the short answer is that you don't use all the potential of your lighting when you use high-speed sync, but with ND filters you do. One very quick example would be with this Godox 8100, which is 100 watts. If you use this light at full power with high-speed sync, you're not actually using 100 watts. You're using something like 1/4 to 1/8. I actually made a video going over the exact power loss, but basically you're using less power than you think with high-speed sync. With the ND filter, if you use this 100 watt light at full power, you're actually using 100 watts of light. And it doesn't hurt that the fact that this ND filter comes in a Game Boy case, which is super awesome for nerdy people like myself, who did use Game Boys when they came out. The name of the company that makes that sensor ND filter is STC Optics, and they have a lot of different options out there, but there is an alternative company called Case, which is on Amazon, which has faster shipping and is more affordable. But the only downside that I can see with that company is that for some Sony cameras, maybe some Nikon cameras, the ND filters are a little bit harder to remove. But this is a quick example of the Case ND filter, the sensor ND filter for Canon EOS RP, which is actually very easy to install and remove. This heavy guy right here is the fourth item on my list because it's something that I did want for a while, and when I ended up getting it, it was something that was very helpful in that it did weigh down my light stand, and it did it in a compact way. I just like how this is designed. It goes attached to the base of your light stand and it attaches with a little handle that you can tighten so that it can stay really tight to your light stand. And I do like the compactness of this weight more than anything. The only real downside is that it is up there in price. I don't want to give a price because I can't think of one on top of my head, but I believe the 15-pound one is about $85, and I think this one that I have right now is a 10-pound weight. The last item on this list is going to be this guy that I have folded still because I didn't want to open it up quite yet for this video because it is going to make me go quite a bit back. But it is the 60 by 60 centimeter softbox, which is a very cheap one that I think Newer and Godox and other companies have rebranded this modifier. But I wanted to go ahead and state what it is right before I open it. So this is the 60 by 60 centimeter softbox by different companies out there. There is an 80 by 80 centimeter softbox that I do like as well, but the only downside to that one is that it does not stay quite attached to the Glow S2 bracket and other similar brackets out there when it's a windy day. And I actually did experience that at the New York Comic Con, and I believe in 2017, I brought my 80 by 80 centimeter softbox that time, and it was very windy. And when Ashley held the softbox with the Super monopod attached to it, it was just kind of falling off the Glow S2 brackets a little too much for my liking. But I'm happy to say that this one right here, the 60 by 60, does stay good and attached to the Glow brackets. Okay, so finally, I'm gonna open this up, but I just wanted to state that there is an adapter to connect this guy right here to Bowens mount modifiers. The last thing I'll say is that I do have a hair tie attached to it at all times just to keep it in place. So I have it's like a big hair tie, and I just have it attached like this just to keep it from falling out. And when you do buy this softbox, I believe it does come in a bag, but I lost the bag a while ago. Okay, so now I will go ahead and open it. And I do want to let you guys know real quickly that it does have 2 diffusion panels on it, and I always leave those diffusion panels on at all times. Okay, the last thing I'll say is that I think I bought this in 2012 or 13. Actually, it was 2014. So as you guys can see, even though that 60 by 60 centimeter softbox does fold quite small, and that's one reason why I really like it whenever I travel. I bring that softbox a lot whenever I travel. It does fold out to be pretty big, and I think 60 centimeters does equate to about 2 feet. So basically 2 feet by 2 feet. One of my all-time favorite photos that I took whenever I was traveling, which was at a workshop in June 2019 by Jeff Bennion. I'll go ahead and throw that image on the screen. It's of Jenny B, and the modifier that I used for that picture was actually this 60 by 60 centimeter softbox. And that's pretty much it for this list of off-camera flash gear purchases that I wish I made sooner, but I am very curious to know what off-camera flash gear purchases that you guys have made that you wish you made sooner. So definitely let me know what those are in the comment section below. I want to give one last thanks to Adorama for sponsoring this video, because when they sponsor my stuff, it allows me to keep making free content for you guys. So definitely check them out. Take care, guys, and I'll see you in the very next video.